So I promised going into that interview I was going to share a personal take on one of those topics that was discussed. And I just wanted to take a moment to talk about the media consumption part of that conversation because I don't think we fully appreciate or understand where we are, exactly where we're going as demographics change on this. What we know is that not only do the younger demographic consume media in fundamentally different ways than their parents or grandparents did. I think that's a given to many who listen to this program. The fact that this podcast exists is evidence of that. Nobody listened to podcasts 25 years ago. They didn't exist, and nobody would have listened to them if they did. But it's not just about how they're consuming that information. It's not just about being on your social media feeds or watching videos instead of reading articles or looking at influencers instead of looking at trusted people on television. It is that young people are getting flooded with more information every hour of every day than anybody ever has in their entire life. And it's hard enough if you've lived a pretty full life and perhaps you're in your 50s or 60s and you're consuming all this information and you have a whole lifetime of experience through which to filter that information. You kind of have a good radar about what's legitimate and what's BS and who's trying to just sell you something and who's an honest broker. But imagine being 21 years old. Imagine being 24 years old. Imagine still going through your maturing process, still learning the fundamentals of life, still trying to pull your life together, figure out where you fit into this great big world. And every day, because of the access that you have to mass media, you hear from literally hundreds of voices. You consume dozens and dozens of articles and stories. Some are news, some are celebrity content, some is just stuff in people's personal lives, and some things are total BS. And at least a percentage of that's completely made up. And your 22 or 23 or 24-year-old mind has to try somehow, some way to filter all of this through whatever lived experiences that you've had to make sense of what's worth keeping and taking into consideration and what to throw out, and which voices are to be trusted and which ones are there to manipulate you or to potentially do harm to you. We've never had a generation that was growing up at a time when they were completely bombarded with so much information from so many sources trying to pull them in so many different directions. We don't really know where that takes us. And I have a lot of trust and a lot of faith in our younger generation to mature fast enough to take in that information and make heads or tails of it. Because not only do they have access to it, but I think their brains are just working faster than a lot of ours did when we were in our younger years. But it's fascinating that not only do younger generations consume media in fundamentally different formats, but they consume so much more of it than people who are 30 or 40 years their elder. When you talk to people, including many of my guests in their 50s and 60s, they don't use all the same forms of media that younger people use, but they also don't take in nearly as much information. They kind of know that there's only some information that they really need to make decisions about their life or to stay informed. And they're more, it seems to me, able to shut off the phone, shut off the television, shut off social media, and move on and go apply what they've learned in their life because they have so much experience already. So I'm not sure where that takes us, but I think it's important that we consider that there's not just a difference in how people are consuming media, but there is a fundamental difference in how much information people are being flooded with every single hour of every single day. And I hope that this program can break from some of that. The whole concept of this show is not to throw a ton of information at you every day. I don't want to be in your inbox every day. I want to be part of your life at least once a week, maybe much the way that your friends are. I hope that about once a week you come to the program, you download the latest episode, maybe you go back and listen to a past episode, you take in some of that information, you go and make some thought processes and decisions with it, maybe you talk about it with people, and then you might not hear from me again for a week, and that's fine for me. I don't think it would be healthy for you to hear from me every single day. I don't think it'd be healthy for me to be in your inbox every single day. And I don't think it's a good way to break through. I think it's about quality, not quantity. So, with that in mind, I hope that this show for you, whatever age you are, is filling an important part of your week, an important part of your month, an important part of your life, but that we are helping break through some of that noise and helping to synthesize the information so that you don't have to consume 100 data points. You can consume one comprehensive interview. And I am working hard to be a trusted voice for you so that you don't have to do every piece of homework on your own. I can help you do some of it and bring the facts because I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm just here to help bring experts to share information that help you to make the best decisions that you can with the information we can help provide.